And things get even worse for Humza Yousaf as it's revealed that drug deaths in Scotland are shooting up, no pun intended. Scots are dying from overdoses before they get a chance to die from their terrible diet, Jonathan.
Oh. So fury as Scottish drugs deaths, already the worst in Europe, surge another 10% as Humza Yousaf tries to blame Brexit for SNP's disastrous management of public services. So the SNP were today blasted for failing to tackle Scotland's national shame, which used to be Leo's nickname at school. After a 10% rise in suspected drugs deaths in the country. So new data has been published. It looks really, really bad. Now, drugs deaths are an interesting one because essentially it is an individual's action. They choose to do the drugs. Obviously, the circumstances that lead them there are often terrible, and there's traumatic childhood or social isolation. But
that's just every childhood in Scotland.
Yeah, but a lot of these drugs that are killing people are because they've been cut with dangerous substances. Now, if, not to sound like the dirty hippie I am, but if we legalized all the drugs, you would eliminate, hopefully, these kind of deaths through contamination.
Yeah, but I mean, apart from being a completely ridiculous communist idiot, I mean...
Sell them, it's capitalist.
Yeah. The drug deaths in Scotland are so high. I think they're already three and a half times higher than the rest of the UK. By far the highest in Europe. So policy is clearly playing a part here. And the SNP have rules such as the minimum alcohol unit pricing, which makes street drugs, relatively more attractive from the point of view of how much money do you have to spend to get out of your tree. And also just the fact that under the SNP, Scotland is a place that's devoid of hope, it's devoid of aspiration because, business is stymied. Most jobs are in the public sector. It's horrific. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I mean, I've been to Scotland, and you're Scottish. Your other mother is your other stepmother, whatever she is. He's not my kid.
Just tell us the thing.
I love Scotland. I love it. But when you, like you say, when you
They've got the best drugs in the whole of the UK.
When you demoralize the people, I think it's especially the men. I think there's a much higher level of male death from these things. When you demoralize them, when you make it expensive to buy like cheap drugs like alcohol, they're going to spend it on dangerous drugs.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening. I think that's why. That's why it's happening.
And the SNP's focus on independence means that they're not spending on the social programmes.
And they're trying to blame Brexit.
They've taken the eye off the ball, and they're trying to blame Brexit. I mean,
that's a stretch.
8 years ago. I mean, come on. And also, Brexit affected the whole of the UK. Why aren't drug deaths surging in England if that's, the cause? It's ridiculous. And they get, under the Barnett formula, sorry to bang on about this, but the mismanagement of Scotland does get under my skin for some reason. But the Barnett formula means that Scotland gets way more money per person, extra and above, over what's spent per person in England. So I think it's across the whole country, it works out to about £15 billion. This is Westminster's money that is handed to Scotland.
But it's done deliberately. England gives that money to hurt Scotland.
No, it gives the money as a bribe.
I'm making a joke.
Oh.
England gives that money to hurt Scotland. That's how devious the English people are. Was that a joke?
That's very cunning.
I think it was a true statement.